Karl Marx said, history repeats itself, the first time as imitation and the second time as farce. And clearly that's what's happening now with the political situation. When Biden defeated Trump, and then Trump has come back against Biden, it sets up a situation completely parallel to what happened in 1884, 88, and 92. And I'll go through that. It'll take a couple of videos. So let's start with the first thing. Today's Lunch Alert is brought to you by the Patriot Gold Group. As this fraudulent trial of Donald Trump played out this week, I couldn't help but think, if only the transactions were in gold, destroying our economic freedom, adding endless numbers of agents to the IRS, all fully armed, and weaponizing the DOJ is the playbook of this administration. Right after the Civil War, the Democratic Party was in total disrepute for having backed the South during much of the war and having opposed any curbs on slavery. And that led to a massive reaction that caused the Republicans to win the elections of 1864, 1868, 1872, 1876, and 1880. But by 1880, the Republican Party had grown so used to power and government had expanded so dramatically during the Civil War, the number of jobs dependent on presidential appointments soared, and corruption became the byword of the Republican Party, led, oddly enough, by President Ulysses S. Grant, who was elected in 1868 and served until 1876. And while he personally was very honest, everybody in his family and his appointment and his official family all were thieves, and he ended up with massive corruption. By 1880, the American people were absolutely fed up with Republican corruption, so they elected a reformer named James Garfield to be president in 1880. But Garfield was assassinated in 1881 by a job seeker, somebody who wanted a job, who was a loyal Republican. And they thought that by killing Garfield, they would have a shot at getting a job. And the reason they felt that is the vice president under Garfield was Chester Alan Arthur, who was the controller of the Port of New York, the customs in New York Harbor, which was the epicenter of corruption in the country. And he felt that when Arthur became president, he would get a job and the gates would be open again. Well, the opposite happened. Arthur was sworn in as president and did a complete about-face and began to clean up the mess that he and others had created and instituted important reforms, including the start of the civil service system. But by 1884, the Democrats had not cleaned up their act enough for people to really trust them. So the Democrats nominated Grover Cleveland for president. And Cleveland was the mayor of New York. The governor of New York State, and had a reputation for probity and honesty that was second to none. He was regarded as the good guy in any corruption scandal. In particular, as governor of New York, he had fought often with Tammany Hall, the corrupt Democratic organization in New York City, and earned his spurs, putting a lot of them in jail. So when Cleveland announced that he was running for president, he had broad support in both parties because of the need to get over the Republican corruption. Based on a groundswell of support for his integrity in office, Cleveland was elected president in 1884, ending basically 30 years of Democratic Party rule. And his administration was very good. He was very effective in curbing corruption, in creating the civil service system, and restoring integrity to the government. And in 1888, Cleveland ran for re-election, and the Republicans tried to recover their power by nominating a Civil War general named Benjamin Harrison for president. Harrison was elected, very, very close election. In fact, Cleveland won all three popular votes during his tenure. Two, he was elected, one he was defeated, but he won the popular vote all the time. And the Democrat and the Republicans happily installed Benjamin Harrison as president. And he was a non-entity. He did very little. and basically was coasting off his Civil War reputation, where he played a relatively minor role, but they could blow it up out of all proportion. But then Cleveland ran for a second term. He tried to get elected in 1892, having been elected in 1884 and then defeated in 1888. In 1892, he tried again. And this time he was elected. And we'll talk about Cleveland's second term in the next video. Thanks for watching. Today's Lunch Alert is brought to you by the Patriot Gold Group. As this fraudulent trial of Donald Trump played out this week, I couldn't help but think, if only the transactions were in gold, destroying our economic freedom, adding endless numbers of agents to the IRS, all fully armed, and weaponizing the DOJ is the playbook of this administration. And that's why insatiable central bank demand for gold is transforming our markets. And when the Fed signals it's ready to begin lowering rates, the floodgates will open. Don't forget to call the Patriot Gold Group today. The Patriot Gold Group offers no fee for life IRAs to viewers of these videos. The IRA minimums are $25,000 and $100,000 for the no fee for life IRA. So call the Patriot Gold Group and ask for the no fee for life IRA.